Hello everyone, and let me welcome you to another episode of this series, where we take enemies from other franchises and we wonder how they would fit in a Pokémon world, giving them typings, establishing an evolution line, and other features like abilities and how they would interact with the player. Our objective is to build an all-encompassing Pokédex that captures every enemy of every video game franchise. Sounds like a tall order? That's because it is. We have two more videos on this topic, one exploring the Mario series and another in the Kirby series. So if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, hit the bell and go check out those videos after this one. But today we're all about the legend of Zelda. So let me welcome you to Rebel Culture. We have tons of topics on video games that you might enjoy, but today we will focus on analyzing the enemies from the most recent mainline Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, and establish their role in this fantastic Pokédex that we're creating. As we analyze the enemies, they will receive a number and get added to the Pokédex that we're building. In our previous Kirby video, we finished with number 27, so today we will start with number 28, the most basic of Link's enemies, the Bokoblins. For the Bokoblins, I believe a fighting type is in order, due to the sheer strength that they can pack, especially further into the game, as the enemies that Link encounters grow tougher. The ability that they will have is Defiant, which sharply raises their attack when they're subject to a stat-reducing move. Bokoblins in the game are also known to fight in packs. We can seldomly find them unaccompanied across a Breath of the Wild playthrough. This notion will be reflected in the game by the wild Bokoblins having a 1 in 5 chance every turn to sacrifice their move to call out another weaker Bokoblin. The stat is quite high, essentially giving them a 20% chance to ask for reinforcement, but the cooldown Bokoblin will always be half of the first Bokoblin's level. Additionally, in order to reflect the changing color scheme of the Bokoblins in the game as they become stronger, once their level increases, so will their coloring schemes. For example, the standard red Bokoblin will mean that the Pokémon is under level 25, the blue Bokoblin between 25 and 55, the black Bokoblin 55 and 95, and the final 5 levels from 95 to 100 will be the white Bokoblin. I am aware that there are gold colored Bokoblins in the game, but I would rather keep that sprite for the shiny version of the Pokémon. Additionally, the callout ability we talked about before will reflect the changing color of these mons, meaning that a black Bokoblin could only call out the blue and red ones. Finally, giving a Dusk Stone to a Bokoblin will trigger an evolution to our number 29 Pokémon, the Stalkoblin, aka the skeletal version of the Bokoblin. This evolution will make the Stalkoblin gain the Ghost typing, but will result in a reduction of its attack stat and the ability Defiant, that will instead morph into Purifying Salt, which negates status conditions and halves the damage received from Ghost moves. Additionally, as a sort of internal game, Bokoblins that are defeated more than 10 times during a playthrough will automatically evolve into Stalkoblins, meaning that for those great trainers that manage to have white Bokoblins will mean that they are so good that they manage to reach such high levels without taking too many losses. So, here we have the Pokédex page for our number 28, the Bokoblin, and number 29, the Stalkoblin. Next, we of course have the Moblins, that will act identically from the Bokoblins, with the same color changing, same ability and same evolution process to become Stalmoblins. However, an interesting relationship will exist between these two Pokémon. Every time a Bokoblin fights and defeats a Moblin, or vice versa, the loser will see its color reduced by 1 rank. For example, if a blue Bokoblin manages to defeat a blue Moblin, the Moblin will see its color reduced to red, suffer a permanent defense nerf, and the only way for it to progress will be to defeat another blue Moblin. I believe this makes the color game of this Pokémon way more interesting, since the color of a Moblin not only determines its level, but also its role in a hierarchy of other Moblins and Bokoblins. Perhaps you might spot a very over-leveled red Moblin, and it might mean that it has lost a few battles, meaning that it might perhaps be closer to the ever-looming number 10 of losses that will trigger the cursed evolution to a Stalmoblin. So, here we have the Pokédex pages for Moblins at number 30, and Stalmoblins at number 31. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, remember to subscribe and hit the like button, we really appreciate it. But now, let's continue. The Lizalfos will be our number 32, and it will play the role of our time changer in this Pokédex. Depending on what object is holding the Lizalfos, it will morph from its original normal typing to any of the following 5 types that represent the different elemental Lizalfos that can be found in Breath of the Wild: Fire, Ice, Electric, Sinister, Water, and Fairy. The color changing depending on the level gimmick of the Moblins and Bokoblins will not take place with the Lizalfos. I believe that changing types depending on the held object is an interesting perspective that might add lots of competitive play with strategies with moves like Switcheroo, a dark type move that exchanges the held item of a Pokémon that might make the Lizalfos vulnerable. The ability of this Lizalfos will be a custom ability called Morphing Skin, which will permit the whole type changing mechanic. Additionally, trainers will also have the opportunity to own a Stal Lizalfos by giving them a Dusk Stone. The catch is that while evolving will add the ghost typing on top of whatever typing the Lizalfos is once the Dusk Stone is used on him, meaning that Stal Lizalfos might be Ice Ghost, Water Ghost, Fire Ghost, it might not be able to change his typing again, losing the ability Morphing Skin and instead inheriting the Purifying Salt typical of Stalk Moblins and Stalk Bokoblins. So, here are the Pokédex entry for the Lizalfos at number 32, and Stal Lizalfos at number 33. The next set of Pokémons from Zelda Breath of the Wild will be the Choo-Choo, which will act as a sort of Eevee of this generation of Pokémon, with the ability to evolve into either a Fire Choo-Choo with a Firestone, Electric Choo-Choo with a Thunderstone, or an Ice Choo-Choo with an Ice Stone. The type of the standard Choo-Choo will be Water, and its ability will be Water Absorb, that will heal a bit of its HP when hit by Water-type moves. Once it evolves to either of its evolutions, it will lose the Water type and inherit that typing, meaning either Fire, Electric, or Ice, and develop one of the following abilities instead of Water Absorb. Blaze, which increases the damage of fire moves when the Pokémon is low on HP, Ice Body, that will allow it to regenerate HP in a Hailstorm, or Volt Absorb, which restores HP when hit by electric type moves. The interesting part is that which ability it gets will be decided at random during the moment of evolution, with a 50% chance to get the one related to its typing, but with 25% to get either of the other two. So for example, a Fire Choo-Choo will have, upon evolving, a 50% chance of having Blaze, but a 25% chance to develop either Ice Body or Volt Absorb, which might lead to some interesting evolved Choo-Choos. So, here we have the Pokédex entry for number 34, the standard Choo-Choo, number 35, the Fire Choo-Choo, number 36, the Ice Choo-Choo, and finally number 37. And for now, that is it. Bit by bit, we are building a really cool Pokédex with characters from Mario, Kirby, and Zelda. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit the bell to remain in the know when we drop more videos like this. We also appreciate you hitting the like button, so thank you. And once again, we will see you in the next video.